If you clicked on this video, you're probably here for information about the upcoming tactical shooter, 9 to 5, from the newly made Redhill Games. This was announced at the 2019 Game Awards, but since then, they've released a bit more information and have also made a Discord so that you can ask any questions you have and be informed about the progress they're making. I'll be sure to link it down in the description if you'd like to join. I'll also be sure to timestamp every topic I talk about, so if you only want to hear information about 9 to 5, you can skip right ahead. To begin, I want to talk a little bit about the studio that's making 9 to 5, Redhill Games. Founded in 2018 by Matthias Mijerin, Milos Jarabek, Katja Dolgova, and Mikko Rumo, this game company is based in Helsinki, Finland, and is supposedly made up of industry veterans. Mijerin himself was CEO of Remedy Entertainment for more than 15 years, and was responsible for leading many teams that worked on games such as Quantum Break, Alan Wake, and Max Payne. Not only that, but from what I could find, some former Remedy and Rockstar employees have also joined the ranks of Redhills. Specifically, the lead environmental artist who was responsible for the amazing environments of games like Control and Quantum Break, so expect some beautiful maps with great interactability. As well as Remedy, we have a former Rockstar employee who's the senior sound designer for the game, but I'll talk more about sound design later on. Now, concerning the budget of the studio, they recently secured an $11.4 million fund in July, through investments from Makers Fund and Play Ventures, two major companies that are responsible for funding many new game studios. I'll link both of these companies down below if you want to see what other investments they're responsible for. Now that we've established a little bit about the company making the game, let's get into the meat and bones of the video. What you probably came here for, everything I could find about this new upcoming free-to-play tactical first-person shooter, 9 to 5. The game is set around 30 years in the future, where governments have been replaced by mega corporations that practically control our world. Not too much different from today. You're a mercenary, hired by these companies to perform various tasks and objectives. The game is broken up into 3 teams of 3 players, each team competing over 3 rounds to complete these elusive objectives that are given by the corporations. Every round is affected by the outcome of the previous round, so expect a fast pace and quick adaptation to your approach each round. We have a bit of information about one game mode, which sounds super fun and diverse. This is straight from an interview with Escapist magazine and Mijerin himself. I'll link it down below if you want to read it in its entirety. Quote, "One flow I like is based on gathering intelligence and escaping. The first round starts with each team trying to gather 3 pieces of intel. The winner of this round is then pitted against the 2 other teams. Quite often, the 2 teams work together to take down the leading team. Equally often, they betray each other, and it leads to fun Game of Thrones type of moments. In the last round, one team will try to escape while the other 2 teams try to prevent this. It may sound complicated, but it's actually intuitive and fun." End quote. This is very different from traditional shooters, which usually only involve 2 teams competing against each other. We really haven't seen anything like this in a shooter, so it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic of a third team plays into it, and whether most people will team up or just kill each other. The only concern I have is whether there will be incentives to choose either. Seems to me that this game mode will benefit those that decide to team up, leading to just a 6v3 situation where the previous round winner is left at a disadvantage. I'd like to see maybe a random modifier that grants double rewards to a single team standing, making it so that you would have to kill each other or help each other depending on the modifier. Still really early on though, so there's a lot of room for change. Concerning the gameplay, this is a game where brains matter more than how fast you can click heads. This is coming straight from the executive producer, Milos Jarabek, who answered a fan's question concerning the kind of shooter that 9 to 5 is. Jarabek stated that, quote, 9 to 5 is a tactical PvP shooter with focus on skill and experience over just pure reflexes of who can aim head first, end quote. As for the realism, expect it to be somewhat comparable to Rainbow Six Siege, with a time to kill that gives you enough time to react. As for the diversity of our equipment, we'll have a variety of tools at our disposal to accomplish our tasks. From drones to traps to consumables, maybe a consumable that allows for better target acquisition or steadier hand for precision aim, I don't know, we'll see. Armor will also more than likely be included, something akin to a Counter-Strike, as they've teased the design of a helmet and said that a headshot is an instant death. Now, whether they were talking in general or specifically about the game, I don't know, but competitive shooters tend to make headshots without gear an insta-kill, as it should be. Now when weapons are concerned, there isn't much to go on, but they have stated that there will be various types of weapons, and from the trailer we can see what looks like an ACR or HK-416, I'm not a gun expert though, so if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. They've also given us a glimpse at a couple of weapons. 2 different snipers, one being a bolt action and another which looks like a semi-auto with the green wrap around it. The green wrap could maybe be a cosmetic option. You can also see that one of them has the words Alliance Group written on it, which might be one of the 3 teams you can choose to play as. Another weapon they've teased is a dope looking revolver. As you can see, it has a large Roman numeral 4 engraved on the cylinder, and it also includes a logo which shows 2 lions and an insignia with the words Union Foundry established 1782. I think this might be one of the weapon manufacturers in the game, rather than a group you can fight as like Alliance Group. From their FAQ, it seems like we'll be able to have a lot of freedom when it comes to gun customization, making a loadout that we feel comfortable with rather than one that is pre-made for us. It'll be great fun to see what kind of guns we can shoot and how extensively we can customize it to shoot how we want. Personally, I love putting silencers on all my guns simply because of how cool it looks and sounds. Form over function, am I right? Anyways, expect to be able to change your gun sight, barrel, stock, and be able to add things like flashlight or laser as seen in the trailer. This doesn't mean it isn't prone to change though, so take everything with a grain of salt. Something that's super important in games that doesn't get enough discussion is sound. I don't know about you guys, but sound is one of the most underrated aspects of many shooters. Whether you like COD or not, you have to admit that the guns in the new Modern Warfare sound meaty as hell. And make you feel like you're actually packing a punch. From what we know, the same sound designer that worked on Rockstar's games is now in charge of sound design for 9 to 5. The sound design in GTA 5 is phenomenal and super detailed, but if you haven't sat down and just listened to the game, listen to this. I'd expect a game that's focused on intense gunplay to be just as engaging, if not more. From the FAQ on their Discord, which was answered straight from the sound designer, Audio Rob, we know that the audio will play a huge part in immersing the player, giving them advantages and clues that people playing without sound won't have. For example, loadouts will have an effect on audio, changing how loud your footsteps are depending on how heavy your gear loadout is. They're saying that they're aiming to make it so that audio isn't a major necessity for those unable to play with it, but who plays a tactical shooter without audio? Like, come on now. Really? As for the maps, there will be some level of destruction, but they have stated that they have a few new mechanics that they have implemented. This can really be anything, so I have no idea what to expect. Other games like Battlefield and COD have dabbled in map dynamics and interactability. Battlefield's Levolution and COD's imitation of it, while Siege has a more tactical way of interacting with the map, such as placing barriers and traps, and overall has some pretty great destruction. It's exciting to see what Red House can bring to the table, hopefully something new and refreshing that gives us more freedom to execute plans and accomplish our objectives. There will be several maps and sizes will more than likely vary. They'll still need to accommodate the 3 teams of 3 and various objectives, so expect decently sized maps. Not Battlefield huge, but also not COD small. They've teased 4 different screenshots of various maps, all of them being in urban settings. I'll show them up on the screen now. This game is multiplayer only and will not feature any AI or bots, for now. It's solely a player versus player experience, so grab some friends if you can and have some fun. That doesn't mean us solo players will be left in the dust though, as they'll include a solo queue for those that want to play the game alone. This is also only going to be on PC initially and will hopefully come to consoles in the future. For now, they have stated that they will be using their own launcher, so no exclusivity, including Steam, sad face. They are keeping an open mind though, so I hope that means this game will eventually come to Steam, just so it can gain as much exposure as possible. Now I'd like to end the video off on the free-to-play aspect. 9 to 5 will be completely free to play and will not cost any money, but like any game, they have to make something off of it. Many games are now moving towards this free-to-play aspect, and making their money through in-game sales such as cosmetics and power boosters. As of now, they are stating that there will be no pay-to-win or pay-to-play, and will all be fair monetization. They haven't stated in what ways they'll monetize their game, but hopefully they stick to their word and sell items that don't affect gameplay or progression. There have been many games with this same business model who have been pretty successful, especially with the rise of Fortnite in the past years. Some games allow for quicker progression, like Warframe, while others only affect the game cosmetically, like Destiny, Apex, CSGO, and many others. This is probably the most important aspect of the game, aside from the mechanics, that will show people whether or not they should invest their time and money into the game. I hope they can strike a fair balance between customization and gameplay, and not make it into some goofy parody like some games, Call of Duty, that completely destroys any immersive world they've built up. From the looks of it, they seem to want to build a real, immersive experience, so I'll remain hopeful they don't do anything too silly. Now with that said, thank you for watching if you made it all the way to the end. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like, and if you didn't, you know what to do. This is my first video covering 9 to 5, so I'll hopefully make more in the future as new information comes up. If you'd like to stay informed about the progress of the game, make sure to throw a sub my way. Thanks for watching, have a good one. Peace!